When a top surgeon walked into the operating room one day, he was told his patient's condition was unstable and the surgery couldn't be performed. Having exhausted medical science, the surgeon sought permission and leaned over the patient in prayer. What happened next baffled everyone. Before we continue, please take some time to subscribe to Wonderland, like and share this video with your friends. It might brighten their day and inspire them to do good. Also keep watching because an important lesson awaits at the end of the video. Dr. Michael Hagland was a renowned cervical surgeon at Duke University who helped save many precious lives in North Carolina. Because of his medical expertise and years of experience, he was considered one of the best surgeons in the country. But that wasn't his only distinction. He was also dubbed the praying doctor, something that gave him sheer pride and contentment. Throughout his medical career, he had seen multiple miracles take effect before his eyes, primarily in situations where hope seemed like a far-fetched call. As a person of faith, Hagland always leaned on God when faced with hopeless and seemingly impossible circumstances in the operating room. He shared one such testimony where he dealt with a patient whose condition was highly critical. When Dr. Hagland entered the operating room, the anesthesiologist told him the patient's surgery would have to be canceled. He explained to the doctor that the patient's blood pressure was 220 by 120, and he couldn't be put to sleep with such high BP readings. At that point, Dr. Hagland knew there was no way the patient's condition could be improved medically, but there was still something he could do. Without wasting any more time, he turned to the anesthesiologist and said, "Well, at least let me pray for him before you cancel." After seeking his permission, the Duke University surgeon leaned over the patient, closed his eyes, and started to pray. Sometime later, a miracle happened, which baffled everyone in the operating room. Dr. Hagland said the patient's blood pressure dropped from 220 to 170, and his condition became stable. Thus, he recounted, "We do his surgery, he does great, pain's gone, gets back to work in 2 weeks, sick." 6 weeks later, Dr. Hagland was astonished when he met the same patient again, who had come to visit him. What he then learned warmed his heart and reinforced his belief. He recalled his conversation with the patient in these words. He goes, "You know that prayer you prayed for me?" And I go, "Yeah." He goes, "Something changed. Something's different." Shortly afterward, the two men prayed together in the clinic and bonded over their shared faith in Jesus Christ and God's testimony. Dr. Hagland said the incident left him a lasting impression and opened his eyes to the healing power of prayer. For over 3 decades, Dr. Hagland had served people as a medical practitioner. However, he could still recall the day he and his wife dedicated their lives to Christ, and he experienced the miracle of prayer for the first time while on duty in a Seattle hospital. A 10-year-old boy arrived in the hospital after a serious brain injury from a snowboarding accident. The kid was in a coma, and his critical condition worried everyone, including Dr. Hagland. His mind kept racing, hoping to find something that would help the child. As he lay down, Dr. Hagland recalled being unable to sleep and hearing a voice that directed him to the boy. Soon afterward, he went inside the ICU, laid his hands on the boy, and began praying. A few minutes later, the youngster woke up from his coma, a moment of pure joy and relief for Dr. Hagland. Overjoyed, the North Carolina surgeon ran straight to the boy's father, an associate pastor in a Seattle church, and shared the good news. But he was astounded to see that he wasn't the only one who prayed for the boy, because 30 other people had done the same. Dr. Hagland never forgot that incident, for it was the moment when he witnessed the miraculous power of healing and prayer. Something changed inside him that day, as he expressed, "From then on, it's like you're just looking for opportunities where God's moving." Drawing strength from prayer and confiding in God showed Dr. Hagland a way even in the most challenging circumstances. He felt like a changed person and helped several others experience the same spiritual healing power. Have you ever witnessed the miraculous power of prayer in your life or that of someone close to you? Please share your experience in the comments section on below.